everybody. I have lights everywhere because it is 3 and it's still winter. So it feels dark and I just whacked my foot into my bin, which I need to remember to put a bin bag in at some point. But yeah, so welcome back to the channel if you haven't been here before, and if you have, then you know exactly where this is going. I've got another book for you. I read this one on BorrowBox, which is an app connected to a local library. Yes, so today's book is All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. That is the front cover of the book. I have a light down here. You'll probably see the reflection of it over here. So let's get on with that book, shall we? Quinn and Graham's perfect love is threatened by their imperfect marriage. The memories, mistakes and secrets that they have built up over the years are now tearing them apart. The one thing that could save them might also be the very thing that pushes their marriage beyond the point of repair. Short and sweet blurb. It's 400 pages in general fiction. It's in religious fiction for some bizarre reason. There was no religious undertones that I was aware of in this. And it's also romance and contemporary, target audience adult, which I definitely agree with. There's plenty of sexy scenes in this. Some bits were just like, oh, it's getting a bit hot in here. But yeah, so it is about Quinn and Graham, and yeah, it's basically about a troubled marriage and what people are willing to do to save it. At the beginning of the book, Quinn and Graham meet when Quinn turns up to her fiance's apartment to surprise him, and Graham is there saying, I think the man behind that door is having an affair with my girlfriend. And so that's how they meet. They meet when their other halves are having affairs with each other. There's quite a funny moment at the beginning of the book when a Chinese delivery service turns up at Quinn's fiance's door, and Quinn goes, hang on a second, that's the meal that we have after sex. So yeah, Quinn and Graham end up stealing the Chinese, eating it outside the door, waiting for their respective other halves to come out wondering where the hell their Chinese is. So it's one hell of a meet cute, as they call it. If you don't know what meet cute is, it's just basically a moment in a movie where the two main characters' love interests meet for the first time. It's called a meet cute. After that, the book is separated into then and now. In the now, they have been married, Quinn and Graham, I think it's about 10 years, just under 10 years, possibly. I want to say it's 7 or 8 years. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they have been together for quite a while and they've been married. And in the then, you see in the very beginning of their relationship and originally how they met, and then how they got introduced to each other's families and friends, and just how perfect everything was at the beginning to make you realise just how much their lives have fallen apart in the present. This book has a very heavy theme of loss and bereavement and infertility. So, because in the present you find out that they have been trying to have a baby for a very, very long time and it's just not happening for them. They've tried IVF a couple of times and that hasn't worked for them. And yeah, so that is a huge strain on their relationship because Quinn has started to resent their sex life because she can't get pregnant, and it feels like that's the only reason that they are having that sexual relationship is because they're trying to get pregnant, so she resents the whole process. She loves her husband, but she starts to resent him because she knows her body can't give him the baby that he wants. In the present, it feels like a massive lack of communication, really, because you find that Quinn is obviously very depressed and she is not really facing that head on, and the resentment that's building up in her towards Graham and towards herself because she can't get pregnant, it just sends her on a spiral. And then you find out in chapters where Quinn observes Graham without him knowing, like him holding his sister's baby and going, oh, I wish that this had happened for us and all this sort of things, and people telling him that he'd make a great father. And Quinn goes into the thing of, no matter how much I love him and he loves me, if I can't give him a child, this feels like the end of our relationship. But they never have that conversation. It's kind of heartbreaking. Yeah, this isn't an action-packed book. This is a very real, emotional book about two people who are so in love and want to have a family together, but at the same time, that expectation to have a family is tearing them apart. And that expectation comes from both of them and externally. It comes from family members and friends who just don't know when to stop asking the question. Having those flashbacks to when they met and how exciting things were for them in the beginning and how much they just seemed to slot into each other's lives and how happy they were. And then seeing the present day where they're not exactly at each other's throats because they're not talking. It's the fact that they've stopped talking to each other, and on either side you can tell the resentment is building up. I mean, you only get it from Quinn's point of view, but you know that they resent each other in that. And there are certain points in the present, even though you know that Quinn is depressed, that she does come a little bit unlikable because she refuses to communicate with anyone. I couldn't put this one down. I really wanted to know what happened. I wanted to find out where it was going to go, what it was going to be like for their fertility, whether it was going to be like that happy ending or whether it's going to be one of those bittersweet moments. I'm not going to tell you how it ends, but I will say that it's a very powerful book. It's a very powerful book, and I did really enjoy it. And I've got 2 other Colleen Hoover books that are sequels to each other, apparently. So there's It Ends With Us, and there's another one after that. I know there is. I just don't have it on reserve. But I know that It Ends With Us, and then there's another one that goes after that, so that'll be part of my sequel Sunday. I am also reading Apples Never Fall by Leanne Moriarty at the moment, and after that I've got The Sentiment Ending by Julian Barnes, which I've heard so much about. It's a movie, I think. Yeah, a major film, and I think it's the actors that are in it are on the front cover of this version of the book. So yeah, it was winner of the Man Booker Prize, so I'm very intrigued by that just because I heard so much about it, and it's always interesting to read something when you've heard so much hype about it and form your own opinions about it. But yeah, All Your Perfects, Colleen Hoover. Heartbreaking, gut-wrenching. Yeah, you kind of go through all the feels while reading that book. But yeah, as I said, it's not one of those, it's not like a murder mystery like I normally read. It's very much that couple-centric and trying to find out what happened to this relationship, how it started and how did it get to the point of where it is in the present. But yeah, I found it a very, very powerful book. So All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. The title is in reference to the Chinese food that they stole from their respective partners at the beginning of the book, and it was on Quinn's fortune cookie. The fortune inside her fortune cookie uses the phrase "All Your Perfects" on it, and yeah, that's what the title is in reference to. It was a really powerful, gut-wrenching book. Gut-wrenching is the best word to use because it really does get you right in the feels. It's like gets you like right there. I hope this video wasn't too bright with all the lights I've got. And I've just had a video finish uploading. Great. I'm now on to 2 videos a week. Let's see if I can keep this up. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time with another video. Stay safe, everybody. Quinn and Graham's perfect love is threatened. Blah, blah, blah. Quinn. Why can't I say Quinn?